US launch attack on major Taliban base. And the Queen at ITN to see this programme go on air.
It is, and of course we are.
It does make it a little bit easier for us to work out what we're doing.
We have the whole space painted green because we use it to project different colours onto that. If you are wearing green, you would disappear if you stand in this part, so I suggest you don't join me there.
Suggests that Osama bin Laden is now in hiding in caves, and we're also, of course, keeping a close eye on the city of Kandahar, which
also we've got lots of places where you can actually plug visual sounding around London.
So sometimes on programmes with country presenters, so they're never quite sure which side they're going to be using.
The government. But new minutes of a meeting he had with the company's boss in July did not record any such request.
We're going to give you a mini variety performance in the news studios. So should we take over? Yes.
Just my colleagues, Nightingale, Katie Derham. Big dram.
I'm staying here. I'm looking at
Do you see this picture of
It's very dangerous.
Now, may I introduce and these are of our colleagues. This is our studio. People who work in the studio. Dave Mason. And the person who's doing the lunchtime news is my colleague Dan Sushek. He's wired up, Mum, so would you mind stepping?
I have to reach.
Yes.
How do you do, Mum? Good morning. It's actually the second time you've been in the studio. When you opened our building 12 years ago, you came in before the lunchtime news. Welcome back, as they say on News at 10.
It's interesting to see it.
Yeah. 70 people in one place, but yet hundreds of people behind the see.
It is, and of course we are sort of
It does make it a little bit easier for us to sort of work out what we're doing as we're sitting behind the
As you
desk.
can read it, the awful business that people used to sort of peer at it before.
Yes, that's right.
Well, it used to be a paper roll, didn't it, which people used to
It's
scribble on.
electronic.
Yes, it's now very high-tech, and we depend obviously on the operator very much. Because
In 10 minutes from now, 12:30 we go on air. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
yes.
They can remotely change all of that.
The point about these studios, as Stuart would tell you, is that we can do sort of everything here. The lunchtime news comes here from here, but also the news at 6:30 and news at 10, of course, which I do.
So we get good value out of the studios, and it's being used, virtually often on the whole day.
all the time.
We certainly cheat rather. When it appears on the screen, we superimpose various other visual elements on top. And indeed, this, ma'am, is this green screen. We'll in a moment show you an even bigger green screen, which is the way we do our various special effects. But this is a more modest version of what's to come. So perhaps, man, if we were to take you through to the control room.
Yeah.
They're, of course, they're on the air at 12:30, so they're just preparing for transmission, but they're expecting you. So glad to go through.
These are just lights. These will come on just before we go on air to flatter my looks.
We need all the help we can get, believe me.
That's when you earn your money.
That's what we do.
Yes.
This is Nigel Dacre, from ITN News, and he's going to be your host for this tour now.
Okay, well, very welcome to this. This is our virtual reality studio. If you look over here, there's a large green area, and the way we use this is that we have reporters and presenters walking up and down, and then computer graphics are wrapped around the presenter and the reporter. During the general election, we used it to explain the results coming in and analyse them, and now during the Afghanistan war, we've been using it to explain the geography. So we're going to give you a little display of how it works. You'll see the reporter, the presenter walking through here, and then what the viewers would see is what's seen on the monitors here. So let me hand you over to Dermot Murnaghan, who's our presenter, who's worked on it, and Leslie Everett, who's in charge of the project. Yes, well, ably abetted by my team there. Ian White was on graphics and Ben Mitchell was on the camera. To continue what Nigel said, we have the whole space painted green because we use it to project different colours onto that. If you are wearing green, you would disappear if you stand in this part, so I suggest you don't join me now. There's a camera on top of this big camera as well, a little camera here, that tracks, if you look up at the roof of the studio, that tracks those little kind of mushroom shapes, several hundred of them. And it therefore is able to position itself. It knows where it is and creates a 3D effect. It's best if I now demonstrate what we actually did on election night. I can enter the studio and walk up. If you look at that monitor there, I'm walking up Great Britain here, starting in Scotland. I could then travel the country, and we used it to mention the share of the vote that each party was getting in specific regions. So I'm getting my feet a bit wet at the moment, so I better go this way. And as we came down, we then, at the end of the evening, we totaled up the votes that were cast and ended up with this. This was the end share of votes on June the 7th, 42.5 for the Labour Party, 32.4 for the Conservatives, and so on and so forth. We took that share of the vote then, took it into the House of Commons. This is the good bit. We whooshed into the House of Commons, and here I am in the chamber of the House. And I can wander around here at will and point to here we are, the government benches, the opposition benches, and say how many MPs each would have. And as the camera moves around me, it adjusts, it's repositioning itself. It knows where it is, so it looks like I am actually in the chamber. So much so that at the end of the evening, I even indulged myself a little and ended up at the age of a cunningly disguised green box, ended up on the government front bench and played Prime Minister for the evening. And that was about it. Thank you. The next thing we'd like to show you is over here. Is some equipment we've been using in the Afghanistan war. The terrain and the area means it's very difficult to use the very large satellite dishes which we normally use. So our reporters have been using something called video phone, and we've been able to link a camera to some equipment which has only really been available in the last year or so, and through an ordinary satellite phone link, using a very small satellite dish, been able to beam back an interview with our reporter in the field back to the studio. To show you how that works, I'd like to introduce you to Chris Squires, who's our senior cameraman who's just come back from Afghanistan, and Robert Moore, our diplomatic editor.
Well, I mean, it's a very simple thing. It just consists of two pieces of equipment, which is a satellite phone, which once you're in an inaccessible area, and you open it up very quickly, and within a few minutes, once you've established the telephone line onto the satellite, it connects into the satellite system. And once the satellite system, you dial up the office, very simple, straight into the office. And as soon as the office pick it up, say, we are ready to go. We stand the reporter in front of the normal field camera, and away we go. And he just chats away. And hopefully I think Robert's going to try and contact Kabul.
Yeah, we're going to try and talk to our correspondent in Kabul to show how it works. But in journalistics, I mean, there's a technology, very simple technology of going down a telephone line, getting video pictures down a telephone line. But journalistically, it's liberating because it means we can go into very inaccessible countries, like, for example, northern Afghanistan, and with very lightweight equipment, start talking to correspondents between London and the field. So we're going to do that. And I think we can see some pictures, actually, of Tim Hewitt, our correspondent now in... Oh, there they are. Well, that was a picture of them a few hours ago getting ready from their end. They're on the hotel roof of the Intercontinental in Kabul. There's a field camera. Tim Hewitt, our correspondent in Kabul at the moment, getting ready to show how the video phone links. Just with a phone line, he can get video link down. He's dialing ITN London now, able to make that communication work. And I think we'll try and establish contact with him now, if I can. Tim Hewitt, it's Robert Moore here, the diplomatic editor in London. It's with pleasure that I have the Queen with us at the moment. I wondered if you could, from Kabul, I know you're live there on the hotel roof, tell us whether you're hearing us, and also perhaps describe a little bit about the situation in Kabul tonight for you, because I gather you're a few hours ahead there.
We are indeed. Good evening from Kabul, Robert. We're 4.5 hours ahead of you here, so what has been a bright sunny day is turning into another icy cold Afghanistan night, particularly up here on the roof where all the broadcasters assemble. I can tell you that at the moment, Kabul, by its own troubled standards, is a fairly calm and a fairly quiet city. There's a considerable air of anticipation here. Obviously, people watching very closely what's going on in Germany with the talks towards setting up an interim government. We're very interested in that. We're obviously very interested in this remaining a stable and peaceful city. The news agenda today centres around East Pakistan, a mountainous area where the latest reports suggest that Osama bin Laden is now in hiding in caves. And we're also, of course, keeping a close eye on the city of Kandahar, which is the focus of the latest American aerial assaults. But that's the latest live, as you say, from Kabul, and back to you in London.
Well, Tim, thank you very much indeed for that from Kabul, live from Kabul, Tim Hewitt. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Robert. May I just finally introduce you to Phil Bye, who's one of our cameramen who just returned from Afghanistan and was actually over the weekend
last night, actually, yes.
Filmed a grenade attack, a suicide grenade attack, in which one of our reporters was fortunately only slightly injured. But Phil,
Andrew was standing next to me when we were filming some Taliban prisoners being unloaded from a truck. One of them, unfortunately, took a grenade from his coat. They hadn't been properly searched, and it exploded. He killed himself and four other people. We were standing about 10 yards away, and we were actually very, very lucky to get away relatively unscathed. Andrea had 2 pieces of shrapnel in her leg, and the UN actually facilitated us, so they got us out of there, basically. Yes, I'm very grateful to them.
Yes. It's been desperately dangerous there, hasn't it? Reuters had 2 journalists killed last week in Afghanistan, and we were amongst a party of 4 who were shot, ambushed and shot outside Kandahar. So,
and you were where?
This was in Mazar-e Sharif.
It was,
yes, inside the fort, which is now
where that was. They've been having this.
That was the start of that first grenade was the start of the rebellion. So we hightailed it out of there very quickly as soon as yes, it became the situation. Especially as Andrew was injured, we thought best to get out. So here we are today, very gratefully.
Have you been there too?
Yes, I did. I was out there for the Tonight programme with Sandy Gould. Took him back to Afghanistan after, I think he'd been retired for about 5 or 6, 7 years maybe. So took him back to meet all his old mates that he used to have out there, which he quite enjoyed.
It's interesting to find mates up there.
He did, yeah. Actually, he's very knowledgeable on the country, actually. I mean, he knows all the old commanders, which are, vaguely coming up the woodwork at the moment. But he's, he's a stalwart.
But it's I think, a very alarming place altogether.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Glad you got back. All right.
Now, should we go up to the upstairs?
So Nigel, just beware when you respond to me.
It's on paper, so yeah. These are just lights. These will come on just before we go on there.
Great. Okay. Version 2 on the clock. Stand by, everyone.
Recording in 3 seconds.
Okay. John, we've got the bongs ready, so we'll go very soon.
It's 10 minutes to
Dave, we need to pull the monitor back a little bit out of 5 shots.
This is the program editor.
And we need to have the logos in the monitors. Dave, pull the monitor back in camera 5.
Say hello. This is Munro Forbes, the director. And Hayley is
That's where I've just been, is it?
It is. That's right, Mark.
Yes, there's a video picture of you just up there. That's just.
Oh, yes.
So, Munro, do you want to briefly explain what the main points will be of the programme?
Well, we're going to record the bongs any second. If we do that right now, then
what we call the headlines.
What's going to be in the programme, yes? Okay, roll to record. Here we go, John.
What, we got the new shot?
We do.
Excellent. Excellent, excellent.
Let me know when we're up to speed.
Yes.
Thank you. Roll the clock.
20 seconds. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
US launch attack on major Taliban base.
B-roll.
Man charged over Selby rail crash goes on trial.
0.
Chancellor says, I can't rule out tax rises.
0.
And the Queen at ITN to see this programme go on air.
Voice.
From ITN, the ITV Lunchtime News with John Suchet.
So that element has now been pre-recorded.
And
we could do that live again if necessary. But
and if you could clip that up, please.
Is Nigel all right? Now in a few minutes before.
Nigel, let me know when it's clipped.
Final checks with the presenter.
It's 8 minutes to
I might suggest that perhaps we might move on at this point.
Yes. Because although the headline permits you to stay, we can achieve that.
Cue camera 2 is in position.
So if I can introduce you to Bob Worsley.
We already have
Basically, this is the master control, which connects ITN to the outside world.
You're not trying to
a lot of
impress
vision. That's right. In fact, what we have here are displays of all the new lines to the telecom tower. So that's right. We have the ability to bring in quality features. It is. It's amazing, isn't it? But this enables us to bring in features. We got lots of places we can actually plug visual sound in around London. So in fact, you can see we're preparing to go live from Abingdon Green, which is just outside the House of Commons. We've also got a guest waiting to go live as well.
That's for the news.
That's right, yes. This is all for 12:30
What
news.
shows you what's going on?
Well, basically, these are the off-airs of ITV, Channel 4 and Channel 5. And these are the lines we have outgoing, which actually tell us which studio we're putting out tonight. For ITV, it's Studio 1, which is at Black at the moment, going out on the ITV line. We're not on air yet, because at the moment, there's a quiz show that comes before.
What is that?
What, this here?
No.
This is our virtuality studio.
So that produces.
This is actually showing what we did during the last election with the virtuality of the House of the Commons and the actual how the parties stood and things like that. At the moment, we're still on the air with Channel 4 Powerhouse and also on the air with Channel 5. This is Channel 5 News, which is actually reaching the end of its news, and they're showing lots of soccer packages at the end. And there's the presenter. Of course, what also we have, well, we're on the air at 12:30, so we're still about 7 minutes away.
Yes. Produce news for ITN Channel 4 and Channel 5. So that's our Channel 5 studio going live. That is our Channel 4 studio called Forward program. So both those programs are coming out of the ITN, different ITN studios at this round, and they'll be joined at 1:30 by John Suchet's program where you visit the studio.
Thank you,
That's right.
wonderful picture.
Yes, we've had several films from the BBC of your visit this morning.
Oh, my job is so glad
So we're now rehearsing those headlines, so we get the picture right, and that's what Katie and
basically, these days, well, these days, of course, most of the equipment we use are actually on computers. Yes, indeed. What we have, being news is news, we have lots of actual material that's fed very late before each bulletin. So the idea of this room is to have as many positions as we can, so that lots of people can bring in lots of stories at the same time. Because as well as bringing material in, you actually record as well in here. So in fact, you must have the ability to bring feeds in very quickly and actually together. I'm afraid we never close. We're here 365 days a year. Yes, I work here. Yes, I'm afraid. No, not me personally. We do. We have one man who works here by himself at night, and during the day we have 4 people, and they sort of stagger the day as it goes on. So you're now seeing all 4 of us together. But your day work? Yes, although we do night shifts as well. We do take out turns doing night. Yes. So what is it? 8 hours? Yeah, we actually do 12-hour shifts.
They're allowed to have some daylight occasionally.
Well, in fact, we have.
Hence the canteen, sir.
It's amazing how quickly the 12 hours go.
As I have to say, they are busy down here. That does make the time go faster. The bright green's just to interrupt. The bright green studio past. That screen there, Dermot is walking around in that bright green studio, and everything else has been generated by computer. Exactly. This is what we did for the election coverage. And it is, as should we degree, absolutely remarkable, because anything is possible, as long as it doesn't have bright green. No.
And what happened this morning, Colin? Well, when we used to have the
live playout area we have here is where we play out the images.
Police laid a series of dawn raids against suspected protection worldwide hacker involved in 19 countries. Arrests followed a 10-month investigation targeting internet users who download and distribute child pornography. Live affairs correspondent.
Set downstairs to see with the presenter sitting to one side, so they ask sometimes on the programmes with the two presenters, so they're never quite sure which side they're going to be using, so you have to produce them on both sides. Yes. We're using that quite a lot recently, yes. And we use that quite what's going on, and then move everything around to show in detail what's going on. Just have the graphics on air. It means we can move things around in real time and produce animations that produce very, very quickly to react to news stories, whereas some software packages take much longer to render animations. We're also going to show you Monza Castle, Prince Edward's wedding, and Michael worked on this for about a week or so. He went down there and took lots of reference photographs. Here you're seeing a basic wireframe model of the building. The actual animation I'm going to show you.
This is the final version of the
flying around. This was to kind of show where everything was going on.
Yeah, it was quite good because I had much longer to do this than usual. Maybe for news we only have, it's actually the day trip out, which is quite nice.
A lot of detailed modelling goes into something like this.
Well, you have to do it for years almost.
Yes, yes. So you need to gauge how much you need to. But when we produce animations on the day, they can't. No. I mean,
Because for that, it can use as news, isn't it?
yes, that's right.
That's going to be on the.
Oh, that's fascinating.
They will appear on John's street.
So we make them up as a layout area for channel for ITN news. So these are where the windows that go that sit behind the presenter. So around taxonomics or something in the World Cup, the next story after the break. And these will, you don't see it here, but when we see the programme there, these will appear over the shoulder of the presenter.
You can only see it on the screen,
Yes.
nothing actually appears behind the screen on the desk, but to the viewer.
No, but when you're not talking to somebody on the screen, you not see anybody then either?
No, I can see them on a monitor, but sometimes I'm talking to thin air.
Yeah, but sometimes you put you have a sort of big screen on the wall.
Yes, you're right. You do that one, yes. There is some facility for that. We don't use every content, but
See, like on this image you're seeing here, the two-way, you're not seeing any images in these boxes here. But when the viewer sees that at home, on the left you'll see the presenter in the studio, like that. So it's all those kind of lots of multi-layer images that are then seen there.
Seems to be very appropriate sound.
Yes. Panic buttons. Yes.
We would never panic.
Show you some of our 3D
I should get pretty near it because
just to show it. Yes, exactly. We're just primed and
quite used to it.
Yes. And we use that a lot in our virtual reality studio. So we move it around. We can bring in different objects, helicopters, planes, depending on what's going on. We also wanted to show you Windsor Castle, which we built Prince Edward's wedding. Michael took about a week or lots of reference photographs, and then came back, and here you're seeing the basic wireframe of the bedroom out with all the texture maps and things. So this was the final kind of moves around the castle to show where things were happening.
But that shows you how it's constructed, and that's what the viewer saw. We wondered if you'd like to check on the architectural accuracy of our rendering.
Most people only see it once. We're very
pretty familiar with it. I wonder how accurate you feel we've made it.
So once we have the model, we can. We obviously made it quite graphic, just to fit in with the program. But we can look at it from any angle, any sorts of cameras or lighting or.
Oh, that's the wall.
Yeah. I wasn't allowed in there to have a look.
Can we?
Very, very different country around it, and to assess independently exactly what it's doing.
introduce, this is Bill Dunlop, who's the editor of our news channel. The news channel is actually on the air behind us, man, but we can carry on regardless. And Bill will just give you a quick demonstration of how we do this, Bill.
This little group here, this is the sort of small, very sort of dedicated, multi-skilled team that keeps the 24-hour news channel on the air. It's all new technology. The days of tape cassettes, all that kind of thing have kind of gone, and it's all digital and servers and all that kind of stuff. And Lincoln here, Lincoln Hooper, can show you the kind of way that we edit video these days, done mainly by journalists on their desktops. There's no videotape editors anymore, and these are the shots of you actually arriving today. So it's sort of
show you what you're actually arriving.
So it's all been loaded up onto a sort of big central storage server, and every desktop in the newsroom here can call up the pictures, and the journalists edit them and then write a script to accompany them. And that then appears in front of the newsreader on their auto cue.
You can hear all the cameras clicking.
It's perhaps worth explaining, ma'am, that before these kind of devices came, we have to wait half an hour before the pictures could come out. They had to be processed like film, and that was one development in technology. And now what we're able to do is, for everyone in this room effectively to instantly see the video and access it. There used to be only one copy of it, but now in a sense everybody's got a copy of it.
Over 200 copies. And we can actually work on the pictures as they happen live, seconds after they've happened. They can record it.
You actually arrive It's all been loaded up onto a sort of big central storage server, and every desktop in the newsroom here can call up to it, and that appears in front of the newsreader on there.
It's perhaps worth explaining that before these kind of devices came, you have to wait half an hour before the pictures could come out. They had to be processed like film, and that was one development in technology. Now what we're able to do is for everyone in this room effectively to instantly see the video and access it. There used to be only one copy of it, but now it's everybody's got a copy of it.
We can actually work on the pictures as they happen live.
Could I take this opportunity to also introduce our new royal correspondent, Tom Bradby?
Well, we met on
Concentrating on the dark days of the Second World War, which seems very interesting reading.
So you'll be doing it for next year. I'll be rather busy, I think.
Yeah, it'll be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's a good time. It's a good time to be doing it.
What were you doing before?
I was in Asia before. I was in Hong Kong and doing a lot of travelling around Asia for about 3 years. Had a few good experiences and a few bad experiences. So.
I'm afraid Tom was also one of our got wounded in Indonesia.
Who did you?
Yes. Got shot in the leg, which wasn't a very good day, but recovered a lot since then, so everything's fine now.
Yes, because that must have been a very nasty.
It was a bit of a shock, I have to say, and it was a bit nasty.
Could you remind us of the circumstances?
Yeah, it was a riot after President Wahid had been elected as president of Indonesia, and like all these things just came out of the blue. I just turned around and saw a big flash and a lot of blood and pain after that, but I had a good operation, and it's been a long road to recovery, but I'm fine. It'll be as exciting but a little quieter outside Buckingham Palace. I hope.
It's starting to become more dangerous to be a journalist than be a soldier these days in some of these conflicts.
I suppose it is. Yes. It's the sort of the way people behave nowadays is very rather alarming, isn't it? But Indonesia is fairly violent too, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It just has these moments of great anarchic explosion when, if you happen to be caught in the middle of it, it's just very, very frightening to watch a whole city, almost 10 million people, just, law and order goes up in
They
smoke.
do appear in great quantities there, don't they?
Huge numbers, yeah.
It's a very, very alarming place, I think.
And then finally, at one point, we were able to go into the studio. Now, this studio was on the air the whole time, so the presenter is quite used to people walking in and out, even though she may be actually speaking at the time. So Bill will just share in and say, don't be concerned. Just do that.
over the rebuilding of their country. And the Chancellor's pledge that NHS spending must rise significantly has sparked a debate over possible tax rises. Mr Brown said independent research found taxation is the most efficient way to fund healthcare. The man accused of causing the deaths of 10 people in the Selby rail crash has pleaded not guilty. Gary Hart is charged with 10 counts of causing death by dangerous driving. The accident happened after Mr Hart landed a trailer, plunged down an embankment and ended up on the railway line in the path of an oncoming freight train. The trial was later adjourned. ITN delayed is following the case at Leeds Crown Court.
You can talk now. You can see this is Rachel McTavish. You can see that there's no scripts anymore. She reads straight from the auto cue. If the auto cue goes wrong, she has a terminal in front of her where she can read the script from. And this terminal here down to the side, that has the news wires, the Reuters wires and the Press Association and so on. So that if there's a breaking news story and it flashes there, she can simply read it immediately seconds later, straight off the terminal. So it's incredibly immediate. And all this stuff here that you can see, but the camera can't, because that pillar is very carefully positioned so that the viewers see a lovely clean shot, despite all this gubbins that's hidden behind.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and all the cameras are automatic now. She's completely on her own, poor old Rachel. You can see the earpiece where she's taking direction from the producer in the studio, in the control room.
The Tories are stepping up the pressure on Transport Secretary Stephen Byers over his handling of the winding up of Railtrack. Mr Byers had claimed Railtrack demanded more money from the government, but new minutes of a meeting he had with the company's boss in July did not record any such request. The Shadow Transport Secretary Theresa May has also accused the government of trying to bury the minutes by releasing them during the Chancellor's pre-budget statement yesterday. 12 British plane spotters arrested on spying charges in Greece have been told they will remain in custody. The 11 men
So you have to move it on again.
Check up on each other.
As we always used to. Bye.
Yes, I am. We're all coming. I've left